Hey everyone, it's Coach Mo Fall. How are you this morning? I might need a little sip of water here to get things rolling. All this week here in Coach Mo Land, we are talking how our childhood stories and fairy tales inform us in these times of the pandemic, which I'm calling the Great Awakening. You are now awake, just like so many fairy princesses. You are awake, and it is now time to claim something more. All this week, I'm covering these fairy tales and childhood stories to help underscore some of the significant changes that are necessary for you in this time. I was going to say crazy, but it's not crazy. It is the time that we are living in, and it's up to us to navigate it in a way that is powerful for who you are and who you want to be in this world. I am Coach Mo. I am the founder and creator of the 12-week transformational workshop, the Kickass Career Workshop, where over 700 women have claimed their souls back, brought them back to life, and landed their dream jobs and have excelled at who they are as human beings, as mothers, wives, partners, sisters, daughters, friends. They have claimed their power. And so many of the childhood stories that we learned about teach us about actually giving away our power. And Cinderella is no different. Cinderella teaches us a few very harmful stories. I know. Just when you thought it was safe to come out of Storyland, Cinderella is not our best friend in Storyville. And hello to Kim White and Michelle Moore. Nice to see you ladies here. Listen, if you want to learn how to navigate your career not like Cinderella, you should book your complimentary career call, mofall.com/live clarity. We're going to sort things out, not like a Cinderella fairy tale, but in truth. Truth. Look at little Cinderella there on my magic wand. So I made sure that I had a magic wand today because we're going to have to bless you with the magic wand today as we go through the story of Cinderella. And if you missed my showing yesterday on the Three Little Pigs, you got to check it out below in the Facebook page here, YouTube channel, or if you're listening to this on the podcast, happy to have you here for this fun and enlightening series. And hello to Tarina and Paula, and top of the morning to you all as we talk about Cinderella and our lives. I would say it's a pretty good guess that almost 100% of young girls, at least in this country, were raised partly, at least, on the story of Cinderella. Yes, you've got your good fairy godmother. Thanks for that. And hello to the other Michelle. Nice to see you. So what we want to make sure we understand about the childhood stories and the fairy tales that we were told as kids is that everything you witnessed, felt, experienced, and were told between 0 and 7 years old is part of your permanent programming. And your adult brain can navigate around that, over it, and through it. But it's really important to understand how impactful the imprint of childhood stories has on you as a human being. We come basically not loaded with software, and everything we experience in our life brings the software forward. Between the ages of 7 and 13, we're still pretty much taking it all in and having it encode to how we navigate life, what we think about the world, and how we feel about ourselves. Those first 13 years are an amazing, amazing, amazing time where we are programmed and being programmed by the external world. I know. It's sort of strange if you think about it, that your adult life is absolutely colored by the things that you were taught, told, and witnessed as a child. And if you've experienced an adverse childhood event or trauma, you know for sure that that has encoded to you. And I am certain you've been navigating that all of your life. We help a lot of our clients through a lot of those painful programming memories that hold them back and stifle their soul in ways where we supercharge the process with all of the latest and greatest tools and techniques that are out there, all scientifically based, because now we understand how the brain works thanks to functional MRI machines. And we understand some of the things like meditation, NLP, tapping, and other techniques that we use that they literally change the brain forever. Basement of the hospital. Okay, Nancy. Well, maybe get yourself up a floor. Hello, Patty. And Irene, nice to see you. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. So Irene, you are a common story, expecting to be rescued. So here's the story of Cinderella. So Cinderella's dad, let's call him King, his wife died. Cinderella's mom died. And of course, being the king, he remarried because he needs to have a wife. Of course, you can't be king without a wife taking care of things for you. Well, she had a few daughters of her own, and so they were the nice princesses. And poor Cinderella got relegated to being the maid and being treated very, very poorly. The story of Cinderella gives all stepmothers a bad rap because it had to create why we think that stepmothers are like the evil stepmother. Everyone has that in their memory. Everyone, and I'm being a stepmother. It's something that my kids now don't like me to say. They don't like me to use the word step because of Cinderella, because we gained so much negativity around step parents, stepmothers in particular, over the story of Cinderella. So if you had a stepmother, you were banished. You were less than. You were treated poorly. You just were going to be a slave to the household. And that's what Cinderella taught us until she was serving at that famous party and her fairy godmother promised that she could be a princess until midnight. You only get to be special until a certain time. And you have to return what you didn't deserve. You have to return the glass slipper. Before midnight. Otherwise, your carriage will evaporate and will no longer exist. If you aren't good enough, if you don't follow the rules, if you don't do it by a certain amount of time, you're not good enough, you're not worthy, and all the good stuff is going to expire. There is such a deep lack of worth embedded in this story. It is unbelievable. When you break this story down, and yes, Paula, you had to rescue yourself, and you are your own Princess Charming. When you are told that you aren't worth anything, when you are told that nothing good is going to come your way, when you are told all of these stories as a child, it does shape you as an adult. And if you don't think so, I hate to be the bearer of this news, but you are in denial. You are in denial. Jaylee, did Mulan and Moana save you? They inspired you for more? So Cinderella teaches us that we are not worthy. Cinderella teaches us that someone else getting in charge of us could potentially spell doom and disaster, and that good times only last for a teeny weeny bit because we're really not worth it in the end. And the prince has to save us before it's too late. This just makes me depressed thinking about it, okay? This story sucks. And it's been strapping young girls into a false sense of fantastical lack of self-reliance. That's the word. Cinderella is a story of not taking responsibility for oneself. It's a bad story. It's a really bad story. It is such a bad story that we shouldn't even tell it anymore to anyone, boys or girls. Because being ill-treated by a step-parent is not true. I mean, it could be. But it also makes step-parenting look poor also. And doesn't it make kings look bad also? That a king has to get married again and he's willing to let his daughter be treated like crap? Cinderella gives everyone a bad rap, except maybe Prince Charming. Because it gives the other stepsisters a bad rap too, that they can't be friendly and helpful and generous and loving to their new sister. It gives so many characters a bad rap. But here's why it was popular for so long. I'm going to get into deep psychology here. Are you ready? Hold on to your hats. The reason why Cinderella resonated with so many generations as a story that felt right was because it matches up with deep archetypes of programming that human beings have had for millennia. And so therefore it feels right. Now, these archetypes are things that human beings are navigating through to correct. And one of the archetypes is male-dominated power that is evil, nasty, and overbearing. I know what you're thinking. We are correcting for that right now, aren't we? The other archetype is women against women. We are correcting for that, aren't we? The other archetype is that you're not worthy of anything and you have to earn it, get lucky, or it only lasts for a certain period of time. We're getting past that, aren't we? The other archetype is that women need strong men to live. Not even to live successfully or happily ever after, but just to live. We're getting past that, aren't we? So the reason why Cinderella survives all of these ages of storytelling is because it matches up with historical archetypal ideas of how human beings function in the world. And what we have to, yes, Irene, male-dominated power brought to you by Disney. It actually, I think, predated Disney. Disney bought the rights to it because little girls loved it and they could make dolls and magic wands with it. Why do little girls gravitate to stories like this? Because it's an archetype and their parents buy into it. Oh, I want my little girl to be a princess. I want my little girl to be downtrodden and feel worthless of herself and be saved by a prince one day. I don't think any mother truly wants that, but it's what she says to her daughter as she dresses her up in princess stuff and don't you look pretty. I'm not criticizing any parents right now. We're all doing the best we can or did the best we could. But here, yes, grim fairy tales, Michelle, isn't that oddly ironic? You are welcome, Nancy. So we are, I sit above the quote. We are in a world now where we are breaking down the barriers, breaking down the archetypes of what generations of human beings have bought into because they didn't have another archetypal paradigm for what the future looked like. And we are getting that handed to us. Now, in my workshop, our clients work through their own re-engineering of their identity and their soul and bring the best parts of who they are together. And then we weave that into their careers. We weave the best parts of you into your career strategy and help you up level and see what you've basically been missing by buying into, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, it'll never work out for me. So many women's careers are built on that, Kim White. I don't like Cinderella at all. No, and not her evil stepsisters either. Yes, so, and again, Michelle, the reason why many people fall for Disney's marketing is it satisfies our archetypal urges. So it's as if even before we're born, there's a plan of how human beings, and you human being in particular, should be in the world. It's unspoken. It's not written out anywhere, but it's how we parent and it's how society converges on girls and boys in leading them toward certain paths. There's been numerous studies on boys and girls on the playground at young ages before they really can get too much program going. And boys will take toys from girls, and girls will cry, and parents will basically say to the girl they have to share. It's played out millions of times on playgrounds. I'm sure I was a little girl in that scenario multiple times. The boy gets to play with the toy because he pulled it and grabbed it. And the girl has to cry and put up with being taken advantage of and taken from. And she'll do that. And then she'll say, isn't it my turn now? And depending on the parenting, it will, yes, it's your turn now. Now, Johnny, give the toy back to Sally. And Johnny may not be interested in playing that game, the give back game. Johnny might be interested in keeping it as a power move. And he may be rewarded for that. In many cases, he is. This Sunday, I sent out an email about an experience I witnessed at a swimming pool several months ago. Actually, it was probably almost a year ago, watching two boys play football, one with one of their fathers in the swimming pool and being tossed the football. And the father encouraging those boys to basically get the ball from each other, grab it, you got it, push him out of the way, get that, go for it, jump higher. Always encouraged to grab the football and win. And I know, as sure as I'm sitting here, that if that was two girls in the same exact situation, that father would have encouraged sharing. Hey, Sally, Joni didn't get too many catches. Give her some catches. I've seen it over and over, and the scientific, sociological, psychological studies bear this out. And you don't have to go very far in your own personal journey to know that this is absolutely true. As professional women, we're playing on the playground with Johnny and Sally paradigms and archetypes. And Cinderella has done massive damage to all of us, boys and girls alike, parents and people our own age, to embed expectations of what women bring to the table and what boys or men bring to the table. Men wife dies, they just claim another wife and it doesn't matter how she treats his kid. It's all good. I'm going to look the other way. That's not a good archetype for a man. And it's certainly not even a good archetype for a man to have to be Prince Charming and save the day and have all that on their shoulders. And it's absolutely not a good archetype for a young girl to know that if her dad marries someone else, she's going to be basically relegated to all the chores and be laughed at and sneered at, while her stepsisters get to be princesses. And furthermore, she's going to have to earn every possible breadcrumb that she gets. And eventually someone's going to come and bless her for the night and give her a magical night that will end. It's a disaster of a story. A disaster of a story, and it has ruined women's expectations for generations on who they are and what they're capable of. I don't like Cinderella at all. And she can take her frickin' magic wand, because we don't need magic wands in our lives. What we need is our soul's power to fuel us into our purpose-driven sense of self and power and be the talented, gifted individual that each and every one of us are. We were all born in the likeness and image of our Creator, and that means you are amazing and you are perfect as you were born. Now, you had to have navigated some rough waters in the meanwhile, and you've got to solve for that. You have got to solve for that. You cannot rely on a boss or a company to solve your career problems. It's not going to happen, and it's not going to last if it does happen. If you're looking for someone else to solve your career problems, you are just dead wrong. Dead wrong. And I'm going to tell you this, ladies, when you book your complimentary career clarity call, I want you to be prepared to take personal responsibility for yourself, because that's what we're all about. I'm all about reseeding in women personal responsibility for who they are and what they bring to the table. You're educated, you have expertise, you have experience, and chances are you are underemployed. Now let's do the math on this anti-Cinderella movement. Forward. The math on this is this. If you're making $80,000 a year, but you know you could be making $120,000, that's $40,000 a year. You're writing a check to Cinderella for $40,000 a year. And that's just 1 year. How about 5 years? How about 10 years? 5 years is a $200,000 problem. 10 years is a $40,000 a year problem. And if you go from 80 to 120, and we can show you exactly how to do that, if you have the right education, expertise, and experience, we can show you how to up level and begin to show and claim yourself. When you make that move, it's the first move. Our grads keep getting the next job and the next job. We've got one woman over 2 years made an $80,000 climb through 2 jobs. $80,000. She's in her early 40s. Let's do the math on that. 20 years later, if she doesn't make another move, working with us and doing the things that we teach and coach in our workshop is going to give her $1.6 million more in earnings. More, not total, more. Okay? 1.6 million more. I am not talking pennies here. So if I charge less than $1 million for my workshop, most women will be able to aggregate that gain over their careers. I don't charge $1 million. Matter of fact, I don't even charge a percentage of that. Here's the thing. You've got to function at a higher level to get your power going and to feel good in this world. Most of the women we talk to on our complimentary career clarity calls, by the way, it's mofall.com/live clarity. And you can book your call. Let me just pop this link right here. Oh, or it's Daily Mo, mofall.com/dailymo. Here, yes, Irene, I can help someone in her 60s. If you want to work and you want to commit to solving your problems. One of my greatest client stories was a woman who was 65, lost her 6-figure job, and everyone around her said, maybe it's time to retire. She didn't want to retire. She got a $30,000 increase job to job, and she was super excited and happy because she had expertise and experience that she wanted to keep contributing in the world. She didn't want to hang up her cleats. She had more in her. So you know what? She's probably made over $100,000 more than the previous job that she lost. And if you aggregate all of that, $500,000 or more in the time she still decided to work. And she was better equipped to take care of some crises that came her way. One of her daughters got super ill, and she was able to navigate that and handle that in a much more productive way for herself. That's what we're talking about. Yes, money is important, and it is. And if you think it's not, you're in some other fairy tale. I'm not sure which one, but don't be in that fairy tale. Money is very important, because it also signifies the level of contribution you're making in the organization in which you're working. And if you're not at that level of being in the organization where you deserve to be, you're going to feel lousy. So if we help you bring your soul to work and crank up your soul's power, but you don't find that job at the level that you're at, you're not going to feel good. You've got to get yourself at the level at your soul or above in order to feel awesome. This is the work we do. It's not a fairy tale. The work we do in my Kickass Workshop is nothing short of life-changing forever. What are those clients doing that are making $1 million more over their lifetimes? They're buying new houses. They're being better parents. They're going on cooler trips. They're enjoying their kids better. They're feeling more awesome about who they are in the world. And that alone has changed the world. When you feel more awesome as a human being walking on this planet, you have changed the world. When you feel crappy and worthless and doubt yourself, you are bringing the whole vibration of the planet down, much less the people who hang out with you and live with you. You're bringing them down. And that, to me, is the sin of our lives. If you are not taking care of the bigness and the power of your soul, you are sinning against your Creator. And you may say, Mo was shaming me on her Facebook Live. Yeah, if that's you, take the kick in the pants and do the right thing by you. This isn't for me. I've done the work. I'm totally rocking it. And I know exactly where I came through. Hey, Stace Hayworth, book your complimentary career clarity call. Let's see if we can help you out. It's mofall.com/dailymo. Jaylee, always great to see you here. Yes, breaking more patterns, breaking more chains. And you know what? You wouldn't have known those chains or patterns existed if you were still in your story. That's what the fairy tale really is all about. We all have a story that we tell ourselves so that we can survive life. And that story stops us from the truth. And I'm all about helping women get to the truth. The truth of your soul is you are awesome, you are amazing, you are fantastic, you are smarter than you know. I'm going to go Dr. Seuss on this. You are smarter than you know. You can navigate the world faster than you ever have. You can be more awesome. You can claim everything that you want. You need your soul powered up, and you need it to be the power plant of your career. And if it's not, you're going to be struggling. You're going to be pushing too hard. You're going to be striving in the wrong direction. And you're going to wonder why it's not working. That's why. Because you've got to be aligned and authentic with your soul's power. And if you're not, you're going to be playing games and working your crap out at work. You don't want your crap to be worked out at work. You don't. Yes, Paula, you are a kick-ass warrior. Indeed, indeed. Yes, Nicole, should we kick you in the pants another time? Get into the grad group and lean into all that's there. Stace, book your complimentary career clarity call, darling. Shout out to all the lovely clients who are here. And Jay Lee, I know you probably even have another jump in you. Another jump in you. Yes, indeed. All right, ladies, this whole week, I'm covering the fairy tales that have caused you to not be who you were destined and born to be. And it is my goal in life, my passion in life, to help introduce you back to the power of your soul and be the powerful woman that you were born to be. You probably don't know how to get there, and that's what we do in our 12-week transformational workshop. Let's get your soul back to life. Let's help you kick some ass. That's why I call my career workshop a Kickass Career Workshop. And we help women like Jay Lee, like Paula, like Nicole, like Patty, Kim, Elizabeth, Michelle, all these beautiful ladies. Let's keep going. Cinderella has no message for you. Let's get your soul driving back up and let that be the driver of your career and your life. You will be different and better forever. And you'll make hundreds of thousands of dollars more over your career. That's what we do. Book your complimentary career clarity call today at mofall.com/dailymo, and let's get your career on the fast track, just like some of these ladies who shared their stories today. Rock and roll. We'll see you for the next installment tomorrow morning. How fairy tales can help us navigate this pandemic and help you boost your career and soul. See you next time. This is career coach Mo Fall, mofall.com.